if you load up on foods that satisfy your hunger, that are productive for what you're trying to achieve, and those foods are protein and fat, protein and fat, protein and fat all day long. You can eat as much as you want of that, as much as you want of that. I don't care how much you eat, it doesn't make a difference. You eat as much protein and fat as you want, as long as you're not gorging on the carbs, because that will fill you up. The protein and fat will fill you up and will allow you to maintain a satiated state for an extended period. Carbs, on the other hand, are like the Italian ice when it comes to hunger. Not quite as fast acting. The Italian ice is about 2 seconds max, and the thirst is back. When it comes to carbs, even if you fulfill the hunger, it's very temporary. It will come back quickly. It won't take very long for you to want some more. And generally speaking, it takes a lot. It would take a lot of carbs to even be able to get you to the point where hunger would be a factor that would cause you to push away from having anything more when it comes to that. So protein and fat, though, very satisfying when it comes to hunger. It has the ability of satisfying your hunger on a level and not allowing the hunger to return quickly, unlike carbs. So carbs, it's a 1-2 punch on the carbs. Number one, it's a negative towards weight loss, but number two, it actually increases the amount that you want to eat. Like your body is asking for more sugar. Once it digests the sugar you give it, it wants more. That's why sugar in and of itself is addictive. The sugar causes an insulin spike in the body. Insulin causes the blood sugar to be stored in either fat cells, muscle cells, cells in general. And then after that, it wants more sugar. So your hunger's back. So suddenly, half hour later, an hour later, it's like, I want to eat more. Like my hunger's, I can feel it. And you just naturally, you start thinking about the sugar because your body, having just digested the sugar, wants more sugar. But when the sugar's eliminated, when it's not part of the normal diet routine, your cravings change. So you no longer have that desire for that candy bar the way you did before. The desire to have that is going to be at a level, if you are consuming a protein and fat based diet, the desire for that sugar would drop to a level where it would be sustainable. In other words, when you have a desire to have the candy bar, it would not be insurmountable for you to just say no. I'm going to just have more of the foods that I've brought with me, or the foods that I plan to have. I don't have to have the candy bar. The candy bar doesn't seem like I need that candy bar. Whereas when the candy bar is part of the diet and you know that it's there and you know you can have it, the moment you have it, your cravings kick in and you want more.
Yeah.
And you want more and more and more because you've already automatically stoked the flame of the addiction, of the sugar addiction. And automatically, once you're having it, your body's just asking for it to continue. And then if you back off and you're like, there's no more, you still want more. And maybe later in the day, the cravings get really bad because you ended up having it earlier and the body's really trying to encourage you to continue this however it can. And then you get these bad cravings and it just makes it difficult to even concentrate. So as much as you can do a protein and fat diet, as much as possible, it's going to help to reduce the cravings. It's going to help to keep you full, and it's going to help you lose weight fast. The diet that you've been doing has been, we're trying to have protein and fat. We're trying to make that the basis for as many meals as possible, but I want to allow the foods that I enjoy, the ones that we were talking about, the candy bars, whatever it may be, loose weekends. I want to allow those foods as part of the diet, and I want to see what I can do with that. So you wanted to allow the foods that are addictive and compel you to want to eat more calories and cause those temptations that you struggle with. We want to keep those as part of the diet, and we'll just balance out the rest of it with the protein and fat and see if we can make it work by combining the two. That's what we've been doing. And obviously you had a great job the past 4 months with that. But what happens is you get into a difficult time emotionally, like you're dealing with now. And those foods, the candy bars specifically, part of that diet, all of a sudden the temptation is insurmountable because they're there, you're eating them. And all of a sudden then the body is just asking for more because it feels like it needs more to be able to just make you feel the way you want to feel, because you're just having a little bit of it, but if a little bit's working, we can have just more and then make things even better than they are now. And then that temptation, it pushes you down that road. So the best approach is to limit it as much as you possibly can. This week is going to be a great experiment because you made the suggestion that you're going to try not having them at all. And I say replace it. Try to think of ways that you can consume as much protein, meat, and fat as you can in a way that you find enjoyable, that would satisfy the majority of your meals. So that way you can quell that hunger, keep that hunger controlled. And I think by doing that, your total biological process begins to change, and the cravings for those foods that you were having on a consistent basis, that were you wanted to integrate as part of the diet, they will start to diminish, which is hard. It's hard to even suggest that's possible when you're in the midst of it. But the body has an incredible ability to adapt. But when it's given a mixed diet on a daily basis, and it still has the carbs in enough of a level that it can feed the addiction, you can't break away from it under those circumstances. You can control it during better times. You can say, I'm only having one and I can get away with it. But during bad times, the temptation is so strong to have just more of it, and trying to look for times and places where you can get away with eating more than you otherwise would of the foods that you shouldn't be eating a large quantity of. So this is going to be a great experiment this week. Just that alone, just the candy bar, the daily candy bar, and trying to while you're at work, really control what it is that you're consuming and keep it low carb, high protein, high fat. That will do wonders if it's something that you'll implement during that period, and it would still allow you the lax weekend. And coming off of that, you would just be tightening things up to the point where you could get everything moving back in the right direction.